My people, una good morning, good afternoon, good night, depending on your time zone. This is Biafra Must Win channel. On this channel, we bring to your doorstep news all over the world, especially the happenings in Biafra land. I just come across this very news. I call it good news because this is exactly what we want as Biafrans. We want the whole world to intervene in this very genocide that Nigerian government is committing against us. Yes, it will gladden your heart to hear that Donald Trump has closed every access to Nigeria entering US. Hear the news in detail. Please do well to subscribe, like, share, and comment. God bless you.
Fellow Biafrans, listeners all across the world, I want to show you a bit of a cultural shock when the media of Nigeria suddenly see the way the free press and the Western world they interact or they relate to government policies. You will see the shock in those that call themselves Nigerians that America is speaking boldly to expose the ills of the so-called government of Nigeria and their governors, all the politicians. Listen to the way even the news presenters, they had this, this culture shock of seeing a people or seeing a media people speaking with utmost confidence. This is why I told you that in Nigeria, they don't know what is freedom. They don't understand the meaning of freedom of speech and expression. At this point, listen to the program of our sister, Ojiokwe, where she, laid down what America is saying about Nigerian government and the rest of them. And I will catch one or the two of the journalists in their response to what America has done. Listen attentively and I'll break it down. Watch this.
Well, all right, we'll take another story now. The United States mission in Nigeria on Tuesday highlighted Nigeria's plummeting economy in a startling post on X. The post referenced various media outlets, including a publication by the Africa Report titled Nigeria's Ruling Class Splashes Billions on Government Houses. The report highlighted how governors lavished billions on building or renovating government houses despite the prevailing economic hardship in the country. It also noted that while President Bola Ahmed Tinubu asked Nigerians to endure the economic hardship resulting from his policies, the governors do not share in the sacrifice. The U.S. mission also shared quotes from transparency and accountability advocacy groups on its official handle, eliciting a flurry of reactions. Let me take the tweet from the U.S. mission. They wrote, while Nigerians are urged to endure economic hardship like labor pains, some governors are splurging billions on new government houses. They posted a link from the Africa Report. They also posted a quote from Budget Nigeria saying Budget warns that instead of funding schools, clinics, or agriculture, leaders prioritize buildings they barely used. And then there's another from Sislak Nigeria saying that there is more money, little accountability, and no priority. Such alleged lack of fiscal responsibility fuels inequality and erodes public trust with the hashtag Transparency Tuesday. Have you been following U.S. mission? I mean, this is the first time I've seen this.
Hold it there. Now, you've seen the way the U.S. mission, they spoke with confidence. There was clarity. And you could tell they were speaking like an institution that respects and upholds freedom of speech. But I want you to see the way the Nigerian media people will now come with a Nigerianness culture where they say, don't talk against your politicians. Be careful what you say about your governor, your president. Be careful. If you speak, they will sanction you. They will sanction the radio station. They will fine us. They will close down the radio station and the rest. That thing is now embedded in their psyche. That it now looks strange and foreign to hear an independent nation within Nigeria, an independent institution of America, speak boldly and speak truth to power. I want you to study, listen to the response of the Nigerian media, how they took that amazing write-up, but they now put the Nigerianness of being scared to speak out. This is a very good example of the psychology of Nigerians. Suffering and smiling. Suffering and smiling. Listen. Watch their response to what you just heard now. Watch it.
Hashtag transparency they are not holding back.
Okay.
And I didn't understand why that tweet came out yesterday with the, that hashtag transparency Tuesday, but I'll come to you. Let me take a tweet about a reaction. Some people might agree or disagree with Onali Kalu, who wrote, "It's deeply concerning that the..."
Hold on. Quickly, they put a tweet of a Biafran man, or probably a criminal that just used style and used an Igbo name there to change the narrative. This is the game they play. Study the game. Understand their psychology. Let's continue. Read the tweet or listen to what she's reading. For the first time now, suddenly, a Biafran man is defending Tinubu and the government. This is the psychology that Nigeria plays to sell that sentiment as if Nigeria is one. But listen. Let's take it back a bit and listen.
Today with the, that hashtag transparency Tuesday, but I'll come to you. Let me take a tweet about a reaction. Some people might agree or disagree with Onali Kalu, who wrote, "It's deeply concerning that the official social media handle of the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria appears to be amplifying narratives aligned with opposition parties, particularly through the promotion of content that consistently undermines the APC-led federal government and President Tinubu's administration. While we respect the sovereignty of nations and the principles of free speech, it is expected that foreign diplomatic missions operate with neutrality, especially in a sensitive and highly polarized political climate. Any perception of bias, intentional or otherwise, risks compromising the spirit of mutual respect and non-interference that guides international diplomacy. Nigeria's democracy must be left to Nigerians. We welcome constructive engagement from our international partners, but not in a way that could embolden domestic actors bent on destabilization under the guise of political opposition." I mean, that is a thought there. Very beautifully. Do you like that?
Hold on before you continue. I wonder why our sister Ojokbe picked up that tweet by a so-called Biafran man, Onali Kalu, speaking on behalf of the Zoo government. I was insulting the diplomatic foreign missions in Nigeria for speaking boldly, speaking as a free entity. You see, I keep saying it, Nigerians don't understand freedom. They don't know what it looks like to be free, to speak the way you're supposed to speak as a human being, not to be gagged. They don't know what it means to say you are speaking truth to power. In Nigeria, they always use that slogan, speak truth to power, call a spade, call a spade, but they don't understand what it means to call a spade. What the American foreign diplomatic mission did was call a spade. They spelled it the way it is. But Nigeria now, they want to spin the narrative. They want to bring that culture, that Nigerian culture, that respect your elders. Old men are your elders. Politicians, you worship them, you adore them, you bow to them. They are always right. They have been made gods on earth. They do no wrong. That's the mentality of those that believe in Nigeria. Now I understand why there is terrorism, tribalism, and the rest of them, and they still feel okay with it. Because they don't reason like human beings. I'm sorry. They don't know what it means to be free. The meaning of freedom. They don't understand it. That's why in the 21st century, they are still discussing cow, how to relate with cow, ruga, ranches, farmers and herders clash. In the 21st century, where the world, they are forging towards AI and the rest of them. See the way they use psychology, put a Biafran man named there, Onali Kalu, who is now advocating for the zoo government. It does not end here. Unfortunately, our sister Mumbai also followed that lane. She was also, speaking in line or in agreement with what the zoo government are doing. That culture of bowing down to your oppressors. So please, listen to the response of Mumbai, the next speaker or the journalist in the studio there. Listen to what she said. You will now understand the problem in that so-called Nigeria. They are submissive. They have lost hope. Nigerians, the average person that calls himself in Nigeria, they have lost hope. They believe now, say, okay, just pray to God and solve the problem. Don't blame your politicians anymore. Listen to what the journalist will say next, and it will blow your mind. You won't believe it. She even went against, the Americans for speaking the way they spoke. Listen and pay attention. Please, lend me your ears. Listen. Let's go.
Very beautifully expressed. Yeah. I think it encompasses it all. Yeah. There's several issues, but I think the main issue, that the biggest takeaway from this is, are we comfortable with any country that is outside of our borders, being this vocal with regards to criticizing a sitting government?
Are we comfortable with any foreign country within our country being this vocal in criticizing a sitting government? Are we comfortable? Comfortability. There is that fear in them. It's more like a culture shock seeing this happen. So she's asking, are we comfortable? Is Nigeria, are Nigerians comfortable to hear the truth? When we called Nigeria a zoo, till this day, people are still angry with us. We told them they are coming to Islamize you. Till this day, they are angry with Nnamdi Kanu for telling them the truth and what is happening right now. Are we comfortable listening to foreign countries within Nigeria, that zoo called Nigeria, and speaking truth to power to a sitting government? Are they comfortable? That's you see, they say words, they're like spells. There is a power in the word you use. Are we comfortable? It doesn't mean what they are doing, what they didn't tell lies, though. The main thing is comfortability. Are you comfortable to hear the truth? Do you really want to hear the truth about Nigeria? Do you want to hear the truth of how the world, they perceive Nigeria? Do you want to understand the reason why someone like Donald Trump called Nigeria a shithole country? Are you comfortable enough to understand that? Do you understand, or are you comfortable to hear the truth that Lord David Cameron, the one-time Prime Minister of England or Britain, called Nigeria fantastically corrupt country? Lord David Cameron, are you guys comfortable enough to hear the truth? Because they say the truth is bitter, but every bite of it is sweet. The truth is bitter, but every bite of the truth is sweet. An irony or oxymoron. Bitter, sweet, sweet and bitter. Let's take it back a bit. Hear this lady, because you see, you must understand the psychology of those in Nigeria and see the way the average Nigerian reason. Are we comfortable enough to hear the truth? That's what she's saying. It's not about the truth, but are they comfortable enough? Will they panic? Will they have a high blood pressure? Will they have suicidal thoughts to hear the truth about Nigeria? To hear what the politicians are doing to them in Nigeria? Lord have mercy. Ambulance is going through. In Nigeria, if somebody falls down right now, they leave him there to die. They take their phones and they are doing videos. But here in the Western world, in nanoseconds, in less than 2 minutes of dialing 999, calling for ambulance service, they will be there. If it's fire, the fire service will be there in real time. If it's police, they will be there in real time. These are public goods and public services that we enjoy. But are Nigerians comfortable to know that things like this don't exist in that zoo called Nigeria? Are they comfortable enough to understand that any country that don't have these basic amenities is a failed state? No road, no food, no shelter, no employment, no health care. Hey! Are they comfortable enough to hear the truth? I want to believe this sister, she played psychology on this one because I believe she's from Zimbabwe. So she's smart and she played the reverse psychology. It's like the man looking and speaking to the person in the mirror. She's probably trying to shine a light on Nigerians to say, hey, are you guys comfortable to hear the truth? You see, when I watch Nigerian media, I feel sympathy for them because I see people that claim they are journalists, but they are not free to speak. If you speak a certain way, that same week, you lose your job or they close out your TV station. The police will come to your station and arrest you. I feel sorry for them. So please sit back and relax. Hear what this our sister said. As they call her, our favorite Niger wife. I want to believe she used psychology, a reverse psychology, to shine the light on Nigerians. Are you guys comfortable to hear the truth? Or to taste how truth should sound like? To have the feeling for the first time. Hear the way a free man speaks. Hear the way a free institution speaks. For the first time. Hear the way it sounds like to be free. Are you guys comfortable to hear the truth? Let's take it back and listen again. Very important. Listen.
National partners, but not in a way that could embolden domestic actors bent on destabilization under the guise of political opposition. I mean, that is a thought.
We are coming there. Get ready.
Very beautifully expressed. I think it encompasses it all. There's several issues, but I think the main issue, that the biggest takeaway from this is, are we comfortable with any country that is outside of our borders, being this vocal with regards to criticizing a sitting government? I think governance, accountability, and all things surrounding are important conversations to have, but they should always be done within the realm of diplomatic. There's a reason why we call it diplomacy, because there's a certain tone that it has to take. And this coming on Twitter, it felt a little bit like an attack. Now, we know that the current American administration, Donald Trump's administration, does do things in a very non-traditional way. However, it is also always important as a diplomat, as a representative of your president and your government, to ensure that you respect the sovereignty of the country where you operate.
No, my sister, you missed it there. It's not about respecting the sovereignty of the country you operate. It is for you to uphold that standard, the American standard, in any country you operate, to be a shining example, a beacon of hope. That standard must be upheld. Don't expect him to hold a high standard in America, then come to that zoo called Nigeria and be cowering down and be bowing down. No. Not under Donald Trump. Yes, during the days of Biden, you guys had such people coming to kiss ass. In the days of Obama, they come and they play to the gallery. But no, they have to be upright. Wherever you go, they say you should be a shining example. If you are upright in your country, if they send you to any country to be a diplomatic person or whatever, you must maintain the standard. Don't go to that country and bow down and cower and perform below standard. My sister, that place, then you feel more. You feel there. You don't expect them, America, the number one country of the world, for them to be in Nigeria and they are scared to speak and they are doing politics. Diplomatic means, oh, okay, don't say the truth. That's the difference between we, the Biafrans, living in the Western world, compared to those living in Nigeria. You guys, your eyes are still blind. You people, you are still like babies. Nigerians, they are like babies, they're like infants. They worship their politicians. They bow down to their politicians. Your politicians, they hold what they called public service. They are public servants. They are servants to you. They are there to render a service to the public. But you guys, you got it backwards. You worship them. You go into tribalism because of them. You kill your neighbors because of them. Today we are hearing about Charlie Boy bus stop in Lagos. The changing of Charlie Boy bus stop in Lagos. Lord have mercy. Tribalism. To the Yorubas, you claim you are the most educated in Nigeria. But to call a spade, since 1999, I maintained it some months ago when I told you guys this, that there was a certain change since 1999. I was a young person then, a young boy, seeing my uncles, my relatives in Lagos. They were worried for the first time. Because in the civil service in Lagos, suddenly, every Friday used to be their traditional day where they wear their traditional attire, Ishiagu, all those things. But suddenly, from 1999, a certain politician became governor of Lagos. And he came with some foreigners, some intruders, some interlopers. People from different states other than Lagos. They came and they were shocked to see how, the harmony between the Yorubas and the other tribes, not just the Igbos. They were in shock. These guys, they were in shock. Their Baba was in power, so he brought them from all the different states. They came to Lagos, and for the first time, they were in shock, seeing how people were working in harmony. Igbo, Yoruba, everybody was working in harmony. And suddenly, the first thing they did was to stop the so-called traditional attire in the civil service. I started seeing my uncles, they started removing their Ishiagu on Fridays. They were wearing kaftan to blend in the civil service. I don't know what they call it. Is it council job or what they call state council job or whatever they call it? And during those days, in the evening, I will see my uncle and his friends. They will be discussing about work matters. They were saying, guys, it is time for us to change our surname or go to court. Ikoyi court, go swear oath of affidavit, change of surname, allow your surname to sound a bit Lagosian. Because the Lagosians, they have a different surname. If not, they were retrenching them. They were losing their jobs. They couldn't dress up the way they were supposed to dress again in their traditional wears. And if your name sound Igbo, then you lose your job in the Lagos civil service or government job, whatever they call it, the state government job. I was a kid listening to my uncles. You see me, I'm somebody that I love knowledge. I love to sit among my elders so they hear what they are saying. That way I was able to develop myself at a Pareto efficiency level at a very fast pace. I didn't play much with my peers. I was hanging with those who were older than me to learn from them. And every Friday they were worried. Then go wear kaftan. They go begin laughing. Nah, this is the way to survive your job. Oh. They were wearing kaftan. They left their Ishiago. This change, this trajectory started from 1999. And today we're hearing say Charlie Boy bus stop. A guy from, this is not Bagadade. As a kid, you keep on hearing Charlie Boy bus stop. When you get to that area, the only house where you will see a machine bike mounted at a building. This guy was, a philanthropist. You are going through that bus stop, as a child, seeing that, Harley Davidson bike hung outside. It was inspiring for me. And suddenly, because of tribalism, they've taken away Charlie Boy stop. Charlie Boy bus stop. And now it's now Olamide, Bado, To the Yorubas, you guys claim to be the most educated. Are you guys really ready to hold your politicians accountable? That's the same thing, because you guys say, no, don't put us involved. Don't get us involved. It's the politicians. Don't get us involved. You keep saying that, but are you comfortable enough to have that discussion and address what your politicians, your criminal politicians are doing? Because me, as a child, I saw the change. I saw the cultural change. I saw the assimilation of the culture. People living in Lagos became scared for their life, scared for their job, that they had to change their dress code, their attire, just to blend in. I saw it firsthand because as a kid, I used to love the dressing of the Ishiago. It reminded me of this cartoon called Voltron. Voltron, the 5 lions, black lion, grey Voltron back then. So when I see the Ishiago and I see lots of lion heads, it takes me to Voltron as a child. And every weekend, every Friday, I am happy to see my uncle or his friends coming around the house, and I'm seeing them dressing in that Ishiago. So, that nostalgia was there. I'm always eager to see it. I'll be touching the velvet material of the Ishiago. But suddenly, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, 2 years, I notice no more Ishiago over the weekend. I begin to wonder what's going on. And when I paid attention, I heard my brothers, my uncles, relatives, they were comfortable enough to discuss the sudden change in Lagos. So from my own viewpoint, from my own perspective, from my own point of view, from my own view lens, from my own vantage point, Oyibo, I was in shock. Because that change started from 1999, when a certain foreign man became governor of Lagos State and brought in all his thugs brought in foreigners from the different states. So the problem you see in Lagos is not being done by the Lagosians. No, it's the product, the byproduct from those other states that man brought in. The henchmen of Tinubu when he was a governor, to call a spade a spade. They are the ones causing this problem, because it was a shock seeing for the first time them seeing Yorubas and Igbos working hand to hand, marrying themselves, eating their food, their amala, ewedu shaki, begiri, ati ewedu oferiro, fuku, we eating everything, ewa, and everything you want to name, we're eating it with the Yorubas. There was love, mutual respect. Even when you are dating girls, then girlfriend, boyfriend, you won't even think, say, one na Yoruba, one na Igbo. No. Playing with girlfriend, boyfriend, you will not think, say, oh, na Igbo girl or na Yoruba girl I want to. No. Equality. We're blind to tribalism until 1999. Quote me wrong. You see me? This is my tongue. I tell truths from this tongue. Put me anywhere. That change in Lagos started from 1999, and today you are seeing the reflection now. The same person has gone to wear your Aso Rock, and you are seeing what's happening now on a macro level. So what this lady said here, it is very, very deep. What she said is very, very deep. Are they comfortable enough to hear a foreign diplomat from another country come to Nigeria and speak in an emboldened manner? Are Nigerians ready for the truth? Or do they want to say, okay, don't insult your elders. Don't talk that way now. No. There is a way to do it now. Don't talk that way. Nnamdi Kanu, you are a problem now. You talk too much now. You insult your elders now. Lock him up, Joe. Yes, he said, I beg, just lock him up. He will spoil things for us. Lock him up. You see? I keep on saying, I thank God for Western world. It opened my eyes. Western world opened my eyes for the first time. I was surprised seeing how things were for the first time in my life. I said, you are working for your boss, and when you see him, the main boss is coming. My very first job in the Western world. In that zoo, the zoo virus has spoiled me. When you see the boss, you bow down and say, boss, yes, boss. Okay, boss. You dobale, as they say in the Yoruba land. You dobale and say, boss. And suddenly, that culture of boss, yes, boss, it almost cost me my first job. I almost lost my first job in the Western world. Why? Because when the main boss is coming, I had my Nigerian brain. I was thinking, to be in the good books of the owner of the company, you should be calling him boss. The first few days I was saying, hi boss, it's me. I'm new in this job, boss, yes, boss. I will do my best, boss, I'm loving it here, boss. He just laughed and, how are you? He left. The following day again, boss. The third day he called me and said, hey, my name is John. Don't call me boss anymore. I thought he was joking. I said, this one want to trick me. You want me to call you John so that you will not sack me. For where? The following week. Good morning, boss. Hello, boss. Hey! This man come back, so. This man looked at me. He didn't say hi to me. He went into his office, and suddenly the secretary pulled me in. And I was, I was warned never to call him boss anymore. That the next time I do that, they will see it as a way of assault or caricature, and I'll be sent off that company. I went back home a broken man. I said, but in Nigeria, I'll be well favored by calling my employer boss, by calling the manager boss, by calling the CEO boss. Yes, boss. I'll be well favored all this while. But now in the Western world, I'm about to lose my job for calling somebody boss. So I became careful because naturally you want to say boss by mistake. So for the first 6 months, I was wrestling with my mouth and my brain because the brain operates in nanoseconds. You can say things spontaneously without even knowing you've said it. So I was traumatized for 6 good months, trying my best not to talk